Hi guys, welcome back to my channel on my TikTok, whichever platform you are on. This is where I share my journey, my spiritual journey, my healing journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, nothing but authenticity here. Today in this video I want to talk about the emotional attachment that we have when I was breaking the generational curse with narcissists. And how, as a breaking this, you are the emotional being, you know what I mean, as an empath, of course, right? Feelings, emotional. But here's what I learned when I healed and evolved. Again, it's like a mirror, right? But in the mirror, God knows, it's not going to change, I'm not going to heal, whatever, but he's using that person as a mirror. So I chose to heal and look at those wounds I needed, right? And it's like a cycle. So you go over and over until you finally, you go through a maze, right? And you're going around and you're going around and you're going around. And eventually you get to the exit, right? So the same thing as this, emotional, until you heal those wounds, those emotional patterns to the narcissist. And then you get to, you graduate. It's like a graduation. Like, I'm no longer emotionally attached to you. I've healed those wounds. The narc is still emotionally attached to you. You know what I mean? And again, these people cannot be emotionally there for you. And this is where they get attachment to you because you are emotionally available. And this is where, when you're going through your trauma and you're healing, you know what I mean? Like, in the beginning, this is where the attachment is. But once you heal and evolve, guess what? You no longer are, there's no more wounds. You're done. You know what I'm saying? You graduated. You know what I mean? And it's a dead end. And the narc still tries to attach themselves to your emotional things. You know what I mean? Again, it's like, it's not about them being with you. It's about them, you giving them what they need, versus the other way around. This is where it's unequally yoked. You know what I mean? And this is where God, you learn your lesson, you heal, you evolve. And if you choose that in your life after, you meet someone that's whole, that's available, that gives you the same thing back, that's emotionally available there for you, that values you, and that and is emotionally there to give you what you already give back out. You know what I mean? And so this is one of the patterns that I saw when I was healing this from this in the past and stuff like that. And again, there's no more loops. Once you learn and you heal those wounds, there's no more. You exit the maze. You graduate. You know what I mean? And again, whether they choose that in their path and stuff like that, that's not your problem. You did your work. You did your. You know what I mean? Like, and again, one of the things they like to try to, emotionally attach themselves to you, or try to make you think you're the one that's emotionally attached to them when it's not, because they're emotionally unavailable people. And this is where they try to do like a lot of emotional, you know what I mean? Like, and but like I've overly graduated, and again, I broke this in my bloodline, you know what I mean? Like, and I just look back on how far, and normally these things will trigger, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just, again, so proud of myself, and like I said, doing the work is a lot of shadow work. It's not easy, honey. And I did that, and it's hard work, you know what I mean? Like, and looking in the mirror, you know what I mean? And everything, and again, proud of myself. Not codependent on getting the Knox, how do you say that word? I'm not trying to, I don't need, how do you say it? No one's, how do you say that, Lord? I don't need reassurance, you know what I mean? Or a pat on my back for what I know, what I accomplished, you know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing when you learn your value, know who you are, you start learning you don't need no one's pat on the back, or, you know what I mean, assurance, you know what I mean, especially people that you don't value, you know what I mean, or, so, and that's one thing I just write down in my book, and I'm just proud of myself, and, I'm proud of that, actually, too, that you see that, you know what I mean, and that's what the amazing, and it's what's so amazing in your path, and if you're healing your journey and going evolving, write these things down, you know what I mean, and journal, and be proud of yourself. If no one's there for you, be proud of yourself, you know what I mean? These are things that you could be proud of, you know what I mean? You don't reassurance, you don't need nothing from nobody, you know what I mean? But God, and if you are a spiritual person or, believer in God, I am, he's very proud. I get acknowledged all the time from the Lord and the Holy Spirit and all that stuff like that in my path. And, but yeah, this is another thing that I've learned. Like I said, I took, taken a lot of time and work and dedication and healing, and not just that, learning and the information and the value and everything that comes along when I was healing these wounds, you know what I mean? And going through this, you know, like I said, nothing is wasted. Time is not wasted if you're learning and growing, you know what I mean? This is how I feel, and this is how the way the Lord showed me. And I learned so much in my walk, you guys, and so I'm sharing my journey with you guys. And I studied it about myself. I went through all this. I did, like I said, deep inner work, and I continue doing it as I need it, as I grow, you know? Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys and say God bless you, and mwah, 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 mwah. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening where you're at. And if this helped you at all, or resonated with you, please give me a like and a follow, and I will see you on my next video, guys. I love you. I can't say that enough. And don't forget to love yourself and be there for yourself emotionally, okay? Yeah, and that's one thing I learned, how to be there for myself emotionally. That's a very important thing in your life, especially when you're becoming whole and you're healing. You need to be there for yourself emotionally. Learn your emotions. Learn what you like, what you don't like. You know what I mean? When you cry, like when you go around people, do they make you happy? Do they make you cry? Do they make you nervous? What is it they make you feel like? And then listen to that, okay? In your body, you know what I mean? Like, and that's your answer, okay? If they make you feel ugly and disgusting, move away from those people. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, you know? Bad energy, okay? But if they make you feel loved and valued and, like, you know what I mean? Like, listen to your emotional needs, you know? There's a lot of people that I come across that are not emotionally, you know, or they don't know their emotions and stuff like that. And so, and you'd be surprised, you know? And so, but yeah, you just gotta listen to yourself, you know, and your intuition and stuff like that, and they'll guide you in your life. But anyways, I just want to say God bless you guys again. I'll see you on my next video. Love you, bye.